Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, then a halfpenny will do. Or you can subscribe to Access Arts Live. I'm John Paval here with the Christmas week and first week of January roundup. There are not an awful lot of live streams coming up in these 2 weeks, but there are some. There are Christmas concerts, there are Hanukkah concerts, there's Sephardic music to celebrate Hanukkah, there's bell ringing concerts, and there's even some composers' concordance madness as usual. So it's a great 2 weeks that are coming up. I wish you skål with a little bit of a taste of glögg or mulled wine as we enjoy here in Sweden, Stockholm, where I'm live streaming from today. Before we get started, I do want to remind you that it is possible for you to give the gift of Access Arts Live, especially if you're following us on Facebook. And here is how you can do it. You can invite your friends to follow us on Facebook by going to our Facebook page. It's very simple. Let me show you another way of this so you have it full screen. You go to the Facebook page and you click on the three dots up in the right-hand corner. You click on Invite Friends. And when you click on that, it gives you the list of all your friends. You can invite some of your friends, just picking out the ones that would love opera and ballet and classical music the way you do. Or you can just click on one button to invite all your friends. If you love opera, ballet, classical music, chamber music, contemporary compositions, organ recitals, piano recitals galore. In the 6 months since we started telling you about these things back in June, we have told you about over 500 live streams, almost 600 live streams in 6 months, almost 100 per month. And these have been opera, these have been ballet, these have been theater festivals, these have been chamber music festivals, these have been orchestras from around the world, from down under in Australia, New Zealand, and in Brazil, from all over Europe, from across the United States. Live streaming is bursting out all over the planet now. But the thing about it is that the live streaming performing arts companies are very bad at letting you know when and where they're doing it. If you try to find out yourself, you're going to miss an awful lot. We do all the research, so all you have to do is click and go. And by inviting your friends on Facebook, it doesn't cost them anything. Our service doesn't cost anything, but it gives them a chance also to click and go the way some of you have in the past year. We have hundreds of followers across our different websites. We have not chosen to concentrate them all on one because we want everyone everywhere to have access to live performing arts. So now let's get to what's coming up in the next couple of weeks' time. All right. The first thing that I want to tell you about is starting right away on Christmas Day. We don't have anything for you on Christmas Eve. On Christmas Day, we have an unusual and exceptional live stream organ recital coming to you from the amazing organ at St. Eustache Church, which is the technological equal, and some think aesthetically even better than Notre Dame Cathedral's organ. It has over 100 stops. It has 7,952 pipes. It has a 5 manual organ console. It's hard to do better than that. And it will be Thomas Ospital at the keyboard. He is one of the 2 resident organists at St. Eustache Church. He's been there since 2015. And he's also a professor of organ at the venerable Paris Conservatoire de Musik, the Paris Conservatory of Music. So he knows what he's doing. He'll be playing Noël No. 4 by Louis-Claude Daquin. He'll be playing Prologue and Noël Varié, the Christmas Variety by Pierre Pinsemaille. And he'll be playing Olivier Messiaen's Dieu parmi nous, God among us. What better music to play for your Christmas day? That's we'll give you the link. We'll give you the organ specs. That's at 5 o'clock in the evening, European time on Christmas Day, 11 in the morning on the East Coast, 8 in the morning on the West Coast. If you love organ music, especially French organ music, the St. Eustache Church recitals are not to be missed. But that's not all that we have for you, because on the same day, you can hear a recital coming from Washington National Cathedral. Christmas Day at 1:30 in the afternoon Eastern Time, 10:30 in the morning on the West Coast, 7:30 in the evening in Europe. The Washington National Cathedral brings you a live stream free of charge of their Christmas Day organ recital. Now, I want to tell you about the organ there, which has gone into renovation. So I'm not sure if you will get this organ or you will get the electric organ, which supposedly is its equal, which has replaced it. This organ has 10,647 pipes. That's 37% more than the enormous organs at the Notre Dame Cathedral and the St. Eustache Church. It was the last work of Ernest Skinner, of Aeolian Skinner fame. Those of you who know organs know about Aeolian Skinner. This was back in 1938, but it's been modified and tinkered with an awful lot since then, and it has now gone into a 5-year renovation project, which will be done in 2029. The organist who will be playing it are the cathedral organist and interim director of music, Thomas Sheehan, who, before he was with the Washington National Cathedral, was the organist at Memorial Church at Harvard University. He did a Doctor of Musical Arts at Boston University with a dissertation of the works of his predecessor at the National Cathedral, Richard Wayne. Well, that's one way to get the job, I guess. Anyway, and also playing will be Ariana Corbin, who's the organ scholar at Washington National Cathedral. She was previously, though, a full organist and director of music at the Episcopal Church of the Advent down in Florida, Tallahassee, Florida. She studied at the University of Michigan School of Music, Theater, and Dance while she was still in high school, then studied at Florida State University. They'll be playing a list of pieces. I just want to mention some of them to you. They'll be playing a toccata on Antioch by Grimoald Machia, who's a contemporary, born 1972. Another contemporary, Variations on the Huron Carol by Brenda Portman. Variations on Love Came Down at Christmas by William Cooper, who was a 20th century composer and organist. A prelude on Greensleeves, arranged by Richard Purvis. Variations on Divinum Mysterium by Adrian Self, and winding up with the Hallelujah from Handel's Messiah. So that looks to be a rousing live stream as well. Now, it may be you're saying, John, I want a concert. I want a concert on Christmas Day. Don't you have a concert for me? Well, actually, I do. And it comes to you. It will be coming to you from here. On Christmas Day, Wednesday, December 25th, at 7:30 in the evening European time, 1:30 in the afternoon on the East Coast, 10:30 in the morning on the West Coast, your Christmas morning, 9:30 in the evening in Moscow, the Catholic Cathedral in Moscow will be live streaming Christmas carols on Christmas Day. This is a full concert with organ, and I can show you the cathedral organ there in just a second. Let me put up an image of the pipework on that organ, the organ which was given to them by a Reformed church in Switzerland about 20 years ago. and a harpist to add some heavenly touches to the singing of the vocal ensemble and the children's choir. This is part of the 17th International Christmas Festival at that cathedral. These Catholics, they don't give up on Christmas. There will be several soloists, a couple of sopranos, a mezzo, and a tenor. I don't think most of you would know their names if you're not Russian. On the organ will be the resident organist at the cathedral. The harpist is Anna Skurovskaya, and the choir is the Edelweiss Children's Choir of the Moscow State Children's Music School. They'll be doing music by Bach, Handel, Gruber, that'll be Silent Night, Britten, Lauritsen, and Thompson. And in between, they always put in intervals of organ music, and it will be Bach's Christmas organ music that will be in the intervals. So if you want a full-blown Christmas concert with angelic children's voices on Christmas Day, there you have it. You'll have to take it from the Russians. But they're Catholic Russians, so they're somewhat dissonant, you know. Skol. Moving right along, the celebration of Christmas, the 17th annual Christmas Festival, International Christmas Festival. Let me start that again. This Friday, December 27th, the 17th annual International Christmas Festival at the Catholic Cathedral of Moscow continues. It will be at 7 o'clock in the evening, European time, 1 in the afternoon on the East Coast, 10 in the morning on the West Coast, and 9 in the evening in Moscow, where the concert is happening. It's live streamed on YouTube, free of charge. It's the Symphony Orchestra of the Moscow Regional Philharmonic, with Viktor Lutsenko conducting, Alina Yarovaya as the soprano soloist, Anna Skurovskaya on the harp, and the resident organist at the cathedral, Marina Omelchenko, on the organ. They'll be doing music by Saint-Saëns, by Rossini, by Mozart. They'll be doing Handel's Water Music, Caccini's Ave Maria, Adams's Holy Night, la dum da dee da 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 dum ba dee da. No, I'm not going to try to sing the closing. Fall on your knees. I'm not going to sing the rest of that for you because I'm not in training right now. But anyway, those are samples of what you can get from the Catholic Cathedral in Moscow on Friday evening in Europe, Friday afternoon and morning on the East and West Coast in the United States. But we're not finished yet, because we have coming up something which strikes me as uniquely American. On Saturday, December 28th, the Kennedy Center Millennium stage live streams to you free of charge the Peace and Carol Singers from St. Matthew's United Methodist Church in Annandale, Virginia, performing a variety of sacred and secular Christmas music. Now, what's interesting about them is that the Peace and Carol Singers are a handbell singing choir as well, which strikes me as something which is very American. You can see some of the bells in the picture, except those of you on Instagram, you can't get it. Watch our live streams on our other places, on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, or on LinkedIn if you want to see the images that we also project, or look for the replays on TikTok and Threads, because they ordinarily they are there. But in any event, let me get back to what I was saying. It's a handbell choir using 7 octaves of handbells, chimes, and an assortment of other percussion instruments. This is at the usual 6 o'clock in the evening, East Coast time in Washington, D.C., 3 in the afternoon on the West Coast, your Saturday afternoon, midnight in Europe. Maybe you were staying up to find out what these crazy Americans are doing with bells. And 10 o'clock Sunday morning, down under Australian Eastern Daylight Time. It is, I will tell you, in the hall itself where it's being performed, it's sold out. Standing room only tickets are available. People love this kind of thing in the United States. And this is not the only handbell choir that is celebrating Christmas this year. If you want to hear some handbells doing your Christmas cheer, here it is for you. However, I have heard from some people that they don't necessarily want to hear about any kind of Christmas concerts at all. They may not be Christian. They might be Jewish or secular. Well, if you do not want to hear a Christmas concert, how about a Hanukkah concert? On Saturday, December 28th, Seth, Kibel, and Michael Raitzyk are doing what they've done. Apparently, this is a tradition, live from Baltimore, Maryland, in the USA. It's the Klezmer fourth night of Hanukkah celebration. And they call it On die Musik, which is, that's a quotation from Schubert, one of his great Lieder, art songs that he wrote was called On die Musik. I have sung it, but I'm not going to sing it for you right now. But it's about how music saved his life. This will be a Klezmer group. So in the picture, you can see Seth Kibel, who's on the clarinet, but he'll be playing clarinet, flute, and tenor saxophone. Michael Raitzyk plays the electric guitar. Rebecca Geller will be on the violin. Bob Abbott on the double bass, and Mark St. Pierre, or Saint Pierre, if he's American, will be on percussion. They do this every year, and apparently it's very well loved. We give you the link. It's not free of charge. This one will cost you $16 US or 15 euros. And what we do is we give you the link to buy the ticket. And then if you buy the ticket 15 minutes before the concert begins, they send you the link for watching the live stream. You want to celebrate Hanukkah instead of Christmas? Skol, I'm with you too. Let's celebrate everything. That's what I say. But if you thought I was done with Christmas, you're wrong. I'm not done with Christmas. There's more to tell you about. Okay. Because also on Saturday, I think it is, Sunday, December 29th. If you haven't had enough Christmas yet, you can get a little bit more. The Lake Grove, Oregon concert series is bringing you a live stream free of charge on Vimeo. That's a little unusual. Usually these things are on YouTube, of a concert called Bells and Brass, festive holiday carols. Apparently this concert is so popular that they had to schedule several versions of it this year rather than the single version that they have had in the past. This is some of the singers at work. It's actually that you can see in the picture. It's actually a larger group than that. Do I have a photo that I can show you of the entire ensemble? Yeah, this is called the Covenant Bell Choir. It's about 15 members. And they've been around for a long time. They're with Lake Grove Presbyterian Church. They will also have a special guest, local poet Robin Halverson, who's written a book called Celebrate the Joy, which was named as a finalist in the American Book Fest Best Book of 2024. So they will be ringing what they call English handbells. There will also be brass, though. It's not just going to be the bells. It will be an ensemble, a quintet made up of members of the brass players from the Oregon Symphony, whom they play with several times a year. So bells and brass playing Christmas carols and tunes of all kinds, and you want to hear some more bell ringing. There was some bell ringing earlier in the week that we told you about. Well, here's your chance. Here's some more bell ringing. And if you missed the concert earlier in the week at on the Millennium stage at the Kennedy Center, here's your chance to hear it again. Now, the timing of it might be difficult for some of you. In the U.S., it's fine, though. This concert is on Sunday, December 29th, 7:30 in the evening Pacific Standard Time, which is 10:30 in the evening on the East Coast. It's way too late, 4:30 in the morning in Europe, but it'll be a lovely 2:30 in the afternoon on Monday, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, if we have any Australian followers. And if we don't, we should have some, because there are all kinds of concerts like this from the U.S. which come in perfect times to watch in Australia. So that's what the Presbyterian, what is it called? The Lake Grove Presbyterian Church has to offer you free of charge on Sunday. Another last gasp of Christmas music. I want to tell you briefly about a few other concerts coming up next week, though. We are at the 21-minute point in time here, but I want to add them in because I'm not sure if it will justify doing a whole separate roundup next week. This may be my last chance at it. If you missed me earlier, I'm drinking glögg or mulled wine because it's Christmas time here in Sweden. So I want to show you tell you about 2 or 3 other concerts that are coming up during the first week of the year, after we could say the Christmas holiday is done. The first of them comes to us from a concert series which I'm always speaking of very highly. The Gotham Early Music Society is back with another highly interesting early music concert. They always have high quality work there. I find more high quality early music going on there than I find when I'm looking on European websites. And very often it's European music. And this concert is. It's called the European Grand Tour. It's done by a husband and wife team. The wife, Catherine Koch, plays the harpsichord. Her partner, Wouter Verschuren, plays the bassoon. And this is the music that sons and daughters of wealthy family would have been hearing in the 17th and 18th centuries as they made their grand tour of Europe, which was expected, especially of the young men, but sometimes also of the young women. And I can tell you this, I went to university back in the 70s, and for those of us who were coming out of American universities in the 70s, it was also de rigueur. You went to Europe when you finished school to get some finishing off. Some people went even farther to go to Kathmandu or whatever, but going to Europe was, making the grand tour of Europe was also something that American university students used to do. I don't know if they do it anymore. You know, I'm getting old in the tooth. Anyway, so they don't give us the details of the program, but it's going to be a variety of styles and composers and from different continents, which can be played on the harpsichord and bassoon from this period, the 17th and 18th centuries. And they've been doing this for 2 decades now. So they've got book on all of it, and they're always looking for new music by composers who are not so well known, or new pieces by composers who are well known, but the pieces aren't very well known. So this is free of charge, although I think they strongly invite donations. This is on January 2nd, Thursday, January 2nd, when you're done with all your holidays all together. 1:15 p.m. on the East Coast, 10:15 in the morning on the West Coast, and 7:15 in the evening in Europe. I think it would be fun for Europeans to tune in and find out, what Americans have to play and display for them about their own early music. Have just a couple more to tell you about. We're going to 30 minutes this time around, but it's for 2 weeks. What can I do? I'm not Jewish, so I do not know if Hanukkah will extend as far as January 3rd. But even if it doesn't, you might, in a post-Hanukkah spirit, be interested in hearing some Sephardic music. And you can. Coming to you on Friday, January 3rd, from the Kennedy Center Millennium Stage, the trio Sephardi will be live streamed to you free of charge. That's at 6 in the evening, the usual Kennedy Center time, East Coast time, 3 in the afternoon on the West Coast, midnight in Europe, and 10 o'clock the next morning, Saturday morning, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Trio Sephardi is Howard bass on the lute, guitar, and percussion, Tina Chansey on bowed strings. There's all kinds of bowed strings when you get into early music, percussion and voice, Susan Gaeta, voice, guitar, and percussion. They're Virginia-based, but they started out doing traditional songs of the Sephardim, those Jews who were expelled from Spain the year in which Columbus first came to America, 1492. Notice I didn't say he discovered it because there were other people here first, like there were Vikings and then there were Native Americans. But anyway, the Washington Post says that this ensemble gives lovely and luminous performances. And they've expanded to play the Sephardic music, just as Sephardic Judaism is all over the Middle East now, for example, into Yugoslavia, Greece, Bulgaria, Turkey, and North Africa. They're particularly devoted to a Bosnian-born musician, Flori Jagoda, for what they have learned about this music. And you can go online and find compliments going up and back between them and Flori Jagoda. They've been performing since 2010 all over the East Coast, primarily to Jewish community centers. And if they haven't burst out beyond that, I say, well, it's high time they did. Check them out, free of charge. Okay. Well, sometimes I just amuse myself. What can I say? I think we're down to the last 2 concerts that I want to tell you about. The next concert, I believe, is also going to be a Kennedy Center live stream. It's these guys. Yeah. Saturday, January 4th at the usual 6 in the evening on the East Coast, 3 in the afternoon on the West Coast, midnight in Europe, 10 in the morning, Sunday morning down under in Australia. Nicolo Seligman on the medieval fiddle and singing, and Lucas Ashby percussion will take you on a musical tour of the Middle Ages, from Spanish miracle songs to whirlwind Italian dances and more. We will give you the links to the individual musicians, and if that calls to you, we give you the link to enjoy it free of charge. Finally, last but not least, I don't have a picture for this last one, but it's I'm sorry if I'm laughing, but Composers Concordance. Composers Concordance is back January 4th, Saturday, 7 in the evening, East Coast, 4 o'clock on the West Coast, 1 o'clock in the morning in Europe, and 11 o'clock Sunday morning down under in Australia, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. The Composers Concordance live streams the Jeffries brothers doing a piano and drum set. They will be doing newly composed music. These are all new stuff, some of them world premieres. By Gene Pritzker, who is the head of Composers Concordance, by Perry Mauer, Jay Jeffries himself, and then a host of other contemporary composers. Jay Jeffries, he's a producer, he's the pianist for something called Tangent Shores, which is a recording project to record all of these new, exciting composers, both emerging and established. It's their work. Their CDs are available on Naxos, iTunes, and Amazon. Fanfare magazine has written that Jay Jeffries is clearly one of those pianists constitutionally incapable of unmusical playing. And the LA Times said of him, he has as rounded a sound and as variegated a palette of tone as any pianist around. So So there you have it. And the music that Composers Concordance often sponsors, it crosses the line between classical and jazz and electronic music and anything else that they can come up with. And but Jay Jeffries, if you go to take a look at his website, you will find that he records classical, like Schubert and stuff like that, as well as new works. So these are classical musicians. You can't tell me, well, John, this isn't, that you're not curating this enough. I am curating it enough. This is music. The virtue of Composers Concordance is this: it's now, now, now. And where else are you going to go to get music which is now, now, now? So as we move towards winding up today, I want to remind you again that if you are interested in any of these kinds of things, you can quickly and easily subscribe yourself if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, which we'd love to have more subscribers on. And you can even invite all your friends. If you go to our page on Facebook and you click on the three little dots in the upper right-hand corner of that page, just underneath the banner, you get the choice, invite. And then if you click on that, one of your choices, you can invite all your friends that you have in one click. What we bring to you is free of charge. It costs you nothing. I am obsessed as a performing artist myself. I've done stage and film. As an actor, I've been a recitalist, as a lyric tenor. I love the performing arts. And when I'm at a great concert, I'm always thinking, there's 500 people here. Wouldn't it be great if there were 50,000 people tuned into this and experiencing this exquisite feeling that we are all experiencing right now? And what a change it would make. And during the Olympics, there was a pianist who was playing. I forget his name now, but he's getting more and more world known. He was playing a piece by Ravel, Jeu d'eau, the play of waters, in the rain on a bridge over the River Seine. Tens, if not hundreds of millions of people adored it. But we shouldn't have to stage an Olympics to get to the millions of people to enjoy these things. And I believe we can build a larger online audience if people know about it. So we're just going to keep letting as many people as we know possible. And we hope it's fun for you. I hope that one or more of these live streams I've told you about in this live stream will inspire you, will uplift you, or just, give you a good time for Christmas or Hanukkah or anything else that enlivens your day. With that, I will sign off in what may be our last live stream of the year. And because I may not be back until after New Year's, there's just not that much live streaming going on, but we will still publish occasional notices to remind you of everything that we've told you about in this live stream. Ciao for now. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, or enjoy whatever other celebration responds to your faith or does not do so in the coming 2 weeks. Happy holidays to everybody.